Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am PJ, and this so far is take 3. I want to talk today about the prepper arsenal, the survivalist battery. What guns do you need? I know I've talked about it before, but gang, I have over 2,000 videos. I've talked about a lot of things before. 1. 2, we just had a fairly in-depth discussion on this the other day when our crew got together for our meeting, and I figure if we needed to hear it and discuss it and bounce it around, it wouldn't hurt for y'all. 3, we have new people. So there you go. Now, when discussing what firearms you need as a survivalist, as a prepper, everybody's got an opinion. Well, I have an opinion based on a lot of experience and based on not a whole lot of money. See, sure, we'd all like a Mark 19 and a Ma Deuce and all the ammo to go with it and a $40,000 sniper rifle. And gang, most of us aren't made of money. Most of us have some kind of budget. And so what I'm going to do is tell you what I think you need. And I've made it simple. It's 2, 2, and 2. 2 firearms that every prepper personally needs to have. 2 firearms that every prepper household should have. So these are additional. And 2 that you might want to consider. And yes, I know I'm going to step on some toes and slay some sacred cows or something. But the first firearm every prepper needs, dare I say every human being that walks on God's green earth, is a handgun. A handgun of adequate power to stop a bad guy, that you can conceal on your person and that you are willing to carry all the time. Even Yeshua, Jesus, said, hey, if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and buy one. Well, the sword of today is the Glock 19. Now, this is good enough, big enough, powerful enough to do what you need it to do, but it is small enough to carry it how you want. I am not a big guy. Those of you who have met me know that. And this is a small enough handgun. Now, all the firearms I'm going to show you have extras on them. You can go crazy on extras. You don't have to. You don't have to, right? And every firearm I'm going to show you requires that you get adequately trained in the use of that weapon. And make no mistake, they are weapons. So the first one is a handgun. I don't really care what handgun it is. Generally speaking, I think it needs to be 9mm 38 special or bigger to do what you're going to need it to do. Again, it has to be comfortable for you to handle and to carry. And you have to be willing to have it on your person all the time, because you don't get to pick when you're going to need to use it. Bad things happen all the time in all kinds of places. So the first handgun you need is the first firearm you need, first of 2, is a handgun. And I recommend the Glock 19. Now, this one has an extra light on it. That's fine. I've made some modifications to it. That's fine. Get you a handgun. And like I said, this fits most people. Glock 19. All right. The next firearm that everybody needs to have is an AR-15. You need an AR-15. If you weigh 100 pounds, you can shoot an AR-15 accurately with proper training. It's not too big. This one has a lot of gewgaws on it that you don't need to worry about. Just get you an AR-15. Make sure it has sights on it. Take it out to the range and zero it so that you adjust the sights to you so that when you aim at something, you hit it. I fired an M16A1 when I was 11 years old. An 11-year-old. And it was bigger than this. They make them smaller now. This is what I call the M forgery. And yeah, but you need an AR-15. You don't need a scope. You don't need double magazines. You don't need a forward hand grip. You probably do need a sling. This is a Viking Tactics sling, and I just got a new sling from Shield Arms that I like even better. I'll probably be doing a video on that here directly. And I painted, you're going to notice a theme. I paint a lot of my firearms. All I do is use Krylon. No big deal about it. But you need an AR-15. Why? Because this makes bad people way over there stop doing what they're going to do, and what they're trying to do to you. And if you are a prepper, if you are a survivalist, then you think that everything may fall apart. And when everything falls apart, no one is coming to save you. You are going to have to protect yourself and those you love. And yes, I know you're a 70-year-old woman and you don't think you're going to be walking around the woods on a patrol. You're right, you're not. But you know what? Yah forbid, if the barbarians are at the gate, you may need to shoot something bigger than your little handgun. And you can. These are easy, low recoil, very powerful, good weapons. You can change magazines quickly. You can have 30 in, put 30 more in. It's fine. AR-15. So the two weapons every prepper needs is a handgun of adequate caliber. Again, 38 special 9mm or bigger. I recommend the Glock 19, but if you like something better, go for it. And an AR-15 of basically whatever kind. Yes, you need to get training, have somebody show you what to do with it, how to properly operate it. You need to be safe, yada, yada. 2 guns. This is what you need. All right. Additionally, every household needs 2 more guns. The first gun that you need is a shotgun. I recommend a pump shotgun because they're easier to use. They jam less frequently. You can clear jams easier. It's just easier to learn how to use a pump shotgun. Again, I've got gewgaws on mine you don't need to worry about. If you have people in your home who weigh less than 150 pounds who could possibly be shooting the shotgun, I recommend you get a 20 gauge. That's what this one is. This is a youth model, and the only difference between a youth model 20 gauge and an adult model 20 gauge is the pump action here. The foregrip is longer. I had to cut part of it out for a modification I made, but it's longer so that a little arm doesn't have to stretch way out here to hold the pump. They can hold it back here and make it work. And the other thing is the stock is shorter. I'm an average size guy and I can shoot a short stock, but if it was too long, if you're a small person, you're holding it out here, it doesn't work right. So the youth model. I like Mossberg's because I'm a lefty and the safety is on the top. So it's truly ambidextrous. You do you, boo. You need a shotgun. Why? Because you can shoot everything with a shotgun. Well, then why do I need an AR-15? Because you can shoot an AR-15 at bad guys a lot further away than you can with a shotgun. And the whole deal is, yah forbid, if that happens, you want to be able to reach out there and touch somebody, right? And so this really, in most hands, 40-yard gun, 40 yards. Yes, with slugs and different sights and things like that, you can take it all the way out to about 100. But that's it. Shotgun. Yes, I have a side saddle. Yes, I have a light. Yes, I have a sling. Shotgun. Every household needs one. The reason I like 20 gauge, if you have somebody in your house that weighs less than whatever I said, 150 pounds, a smaller statured person, is because they can still handle the recoil. A 12 gauge can kick pretty hard and they won't like it. So get a 20 gauge if you can only get one. So that's it. This is the first thing you need in your household is a shotgun. And you know what Joe Biden said about a shotgun, right? Yeah. All right. The second thing you need, the second firearm you need per household is what I call a deer rifle. Now, doesn't it look sexy? It's not. I just spray painted it. This scope cost me $30 when I put it on here in the 80s. Probably now $60. It's just a Bushnell. Burris is better, right? Yeah, it's a Bushnell. You need a deer rifle, which means it needs to be basically 30 caliber, 30-06, 308, 270. I like that. Yeah, I'm sure you do. Bolt gun. So it's bolt action rifle. Put a scope on it, zero it. and then take it out and shoot it, because with this firearm, you can make precision shots. I know we could argue about what does that term mean. You can shoot a lot further, more accurately than you can with your AR-15. And while I did legally shoot a deer in Georgia with an AR-15 one time, really, most states you cannot. Most states you need a bigger round to shoot. And yeah, you're probably going to have to be feeding yourself when the whole thing falls apart. And so a 30 caliber bolt action rifle with a scope. You should spend as much on the scope as you spend on the rifle. You should put a Leopold 3x9. I've killed 35 to 40 deer with this rifle. This is a Remington 700, if you care. It's the lower grade model. I think it's called the ABL, but I'm not sure. It might be the BBL. It's the lower grade one. It doesn't have all the fancy spacers and stuff on it. It has a walnut stock, and that's it. Yeah, I painted it and put a scope on it. Every household needs a deer rifle. Okay, so that's all you need. You need 4 weapons. You need access to 4 weapons. Everybody needs a handgun and an AR-15, and every household should at least have a shotgun and a deer rifle. The order you should buy them is first a handgun. After that, if you can afford it, an AR-15. If not, go ahead and get the house shotgun. At least you have a long arm. Then get the AR-15. Then go to the deer rifle if you haven't already bought the shotgun. All right. 2 weapons that you may want to consider. And this is like, no, PJ, you don't need to consider it. You need to have it, man. Every survivalist book out there written since the 1970s say you need it. And I say you don't. But you can get one if you want. That's a 22. Doesn't this one look sexy? Doesn't it look cool and tactical? It's just spray painted, gang. That's all it is. This is a Ruger 10-22. It shoots 22 bullets, which are only that big. I have a scope on it. I don't even know what kind because it's not that expensive, but it's zeroed and it shoots just fine. What do you use it for? If you eat things that go forth on paws, you know, if you eat rabbits and squirrels and such like, or varmints like raccoons and possums and armadillos on, you know, possum on the half shell, this is fine, right? And you have chow. We're going to feed our dogs those things, and so I will take them with this and actually with traps is what I'm going to use more. I said this on my Vice video, and people went nuts in the comments. You can kill anything on the North American continent with this rifle. You can. I'm not saying that's a good idea. I'm not saying that, you know, shot placement doesn't count. Dun, 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 dun. But it's don't misunderstand it just because it shoots little tiny rounds. It's powerful enough to do things, but this is not a self-defense weapon. Because you can doesn't mean you will kill everything on the North American continent with it. But people love them. People are like, you need a 10-22. You need a 22 ammo. It's going to be the barter ammo. It's going to... no, it's not. I shoot those other firearms a lot more than I shoot this, and I live off-grid as a neo-pioneer out in the woods. I have one, and you may want to consider it. You don't need it, but there you go. And then the other one, which I have not seen in a whole lot of prepper like write-ups and things like that, but which is pretty darn useful, is a BB pellet gun. Now, this is just a standard... Last time I did this video, people told me what it was. It has a very distinctive looking... Is it a Glenfield? Is it a Daisy? It's a Daisy. Model 8808. Maybe. Anyway, it shoots BBs and pellets. You have to load the pellets one at a time. The BBs... Oh, I need to reload it. The BBs go into a little hopper. You don't need this one. RWS makes a break action single shot pellet gun that shoots 1,000 feet per second. And I have it on very good authority that one can regularly take squirrels and doves in one's backyard without making any noise at all with 1,000 feet per second. This doesn't shoot that fast. You can pump it. If you pump it 10 times, that's kind of like the max. If you're trying to get your dog out of the compost bin, you pump it twice and shoot them in the thigh. Pow! And they don't like it. If you're trying to get your chickens from doing something, depending how far they are, how many pumps and you shoot them, it's very useful for those kinds of things. Yep, there's a BB in it right now. Can you see that? Pew! And it's fun to shoot, and you can use it to teach marksmanship and that kind of thing. And BBs cost almost nothing. You can get a bazillion BBs for not very much money, and you'll never run out of ammo. So I think a BB gun, pellet gun, and again, the better the better. If you want to get one that shoots 1,000 feet per second or better, awesome. You're going to pay good money for one. I know I did. But if you just want this, a little daisy, this is pretty effective around the homestead. And yes, you can take small varmints with it also, if that is your desire. So there you go, 6 firearms. Everybody should have an AR and a handgun. I prefer the Glock 19. You don't need the Gugas on it. Every household should have a shotgun and a deer rifle. And you may want to consider the 2 I just showed you, the 22 and the pellet gun. Go ahead, flame on, Vikings. You can disagree. It's cool. Just be polite. All right, I'll see you out there.